Hi, I'm Todd, and I'll be coming out to the Pacific Northwest, coming this January 30th, 2015, for the Pacific Northwest Men's Retreat. We're going to be exploring paths to mature manhood. I wanted to share with you a little bit about what's happening. We're going to look at mature manhood from the standpoint of four different ways, four different inner parts, if you will. There are lots of ways to look at what it might be to be a mature man. But I'll be offering this particular map. It has to do with how we think and feel, how we are, and how we're being in the world. So let me talk to you about those just briefly. If you imagine these characters, a king, a warrior, a lover, a magician, as living within you, we can have a full map, a whole map of what it might be to be a mature man. That is, if each of those characters within us are mature and in a good place. And that's what we'll explore a little bit. How is it that those characters are living in you? Is there too much of one, not enough of another? Let me give you a little description. So we come into this life in a life cycle where each of these comes online. We come into life in this lover space, this beginning place where we're in our bodies, we're connecting with other beings, our caretakers, our parents, and we're just feeling. We're very much in our bodies. When we get just a little bit older, we start to bring online this warrior character, if you will, or the one that knows how to do things. We say no to our parents, or we say, I can do it myself. That's a doing part. That's what the warrior is into. And then when we get a little older, the magician starts to come online in our lives. That's the part of us that can think and explore possibilities, abstract thought, making distinctions about things in our mind. Sometimes that comes on when we're in elementary school, maybe 6, 7, 8. Maybe 9, sometime around there it really starts to come in. I hear it in church life when a child might say, well, God is love. That's the magician, able to abstract and think about ideas. And eventually we get to this larger part, this king, or if you will, sovereign part of us, that's able to see all of it and hold all of it together, appreciate the bigger picture of life and meaning. So as we go through life, all of these energies are with us. They're parts of being a man, if you will. And the object here is to see in our lifetime if we can bring all of them online fully, if they can all be part of who we are. So for example, if someone's lover energy is not quite right, it might be too small. Maybe there's a man you know that has trouble feeling, feels really shut down. Or maybe there's a man you know that seems overwhelmed by their feelings. Either way, that's a case of that lover part of us not quite being in balance. And a mature man has a way of finding that balanced place, not too shut down in their feelings and not overwhelmed by feelings either. The warrior is that part of us that gets things done, that knows about boundaries and boundary setting, that knows about risk. You may know men for whom this is where they live all the time, and they're very expressive with their warrior. They're always doing, and in fact, they're probably doing too hard, and maybe they set boundaries really hard in their life. Maybe they're kind of an angry man. That's kind of a warrior that's a little too big. Or you might know a man who has too little warrior. They don't seem to get things done. They don't really seem to show up in their full presence. They don't set boundaries in a good way. They just get run over a little bit. Those are ways that might indicate a warrior that's not empowered enough, that's not really ready to step out there and be present, take the risk, get it done, and show up. The magician piece, that's where we're thinking about possibilities and options. It's where we engage in the mystery, where we can appreciate how we're looking at something. Sometimes people might refer to that as a witness function, able to step back and look at our lives and see what's happening, able to reframe what's happening in our lives and think about what are the choices that can be made here? What are the creative new choices? You know, someone who is in a place of not being able to figure anything out might be a magician that's a little bit too low in energy. And a magician that's too much might come out as someone who's always trying to plan everything out and even kind of manipulate things a little too much. Figure it all out beforehand. Figure every little detail out. Even feel like they're working behind the scenes to make things turn out just how they want, out of sight and out of cooperation of others. That's an overactive magician. And then the sovereign piece, the king, that's the one that we come into, hopefully, by the time we're getting in our 30s. It comes on earlier, but to really begin to assume that in a good way does take time. Too little king would mean someone doesn't really have a sense of the direction of their lives. They don't have a vision for who they are or what life might mean to them. They're just following everyone else, not really independent. An overactive king might be felt as a tyrant who wants to make sure that everyone is on their program and they're running the show for the whole, that they're the one who is in charge all of the time. Somewhere in a balanced place is a king in you and in me that can hold the whole of life, see the meaning of it, integrate all their parts, appreciate all of life, support and bless others as well as themselves, and appreciate the blessing that life is as a whole. This is the beauty of coming into mature manhood. See if all of these pieces can come together. So I invite you to explore with us at Pilgrim Firs Camp, January 30th through February 1st of 2015, what mature manhood might be for you. It's a beautiful place, and it's a beautiful space of men being there with each other, for each other, in brotherhood and support. Hope to see you there.